You do it every single day, probably without even thinking about it. But behind that simple tap of your credit card is a massive, invisible giant of technology. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain.
I mean, think about it. You're grabbing coffee, you tap your card, and beep, it's done. So simple, right? But what's the actual magic happening in that tiny little split second between your tap and that approved message on the screen?
It feels completely seamless. But you know what? That simplicity is kind of an illusion. It's powered by this incredible symphony of high-stakes technology, all working perfectly and totally invisibly in the background.
Okay, so let's dive into who's behind all this. It turns out that a huge portion of these transactions are powered by a single, pretty much invisible giant.
The company's name is Thales. And while you've probably never heard their name, and that's kind of the point, their technology is so deeply embedded in our financial system, it's practically part of the plumbing of the global economy.
So what exactly is Thales? Well, they're not some consumer-facing FinTech app you download from the App Store. No, they build the heavy-duty stuff, the enterprise infrastructure that banks, financial institutions, and other FinTechs rely on to make digital payments even possible and, of course, secure.
So how did they get to be this powerhouse?
Well, a really key moment was back in 2019, when they acquired Gemalto, a huge leader in digital security and payment cards. And this wasn't just a regular merger, it was more like a fusion. It combined Thales' deep security expertise with Gemalto's payment technology, and that's what created the invisible giant we're talking about today.
So, how do they actually do it? How do they make that tap-to-pay moment feel so effortless, yet so incredibly secure? Let's break down the anatomy of a payment.
We can really think of it in three core layers. First, you've got the card itself. Then, there's a really clever disguise to protect your data. And finally, it's all locked down tight inside a digital fortress.
Okay, so it all starts with the card. And I mean any kind of card. The physical plastic in your wallet, a virtual number you use for online shopping, or the one that lives in your phone's digital wallet. Thales' D1 platform is the engine that lets banks and fintechs create and manage all these different card types from one single unified system.
Now for the disguise part, this is really cool. When you tap to pay, your actual 16-digit card number is never sent to the merchant. Instead, a technology called tokenization generates a unique, single-use code, a token, just for that one transaction. So if a fraudster ever got their hands on it, it would be completely useless. It's a brilliant digital disguise for your real info.
And finally, we get to the fortress. At the very heart of this entire system are something called hardware security modules, or HSMs. Now, these are not your normal computers. Think of them as physical, tamper-proof digital vaults built for one job and one job only, guarding the cryptographic keys that lock and unlock every single transaction. Absolutely nothing happens without them. They are the ultimate root of trust in the system.
Okay, so we know how the tech works, but what's the actual scale of this operation? I mean, the numbers here are genuinely staggering.
Every single year, Thales helps issue over 900 million payment cards and devices. Just let that scale sink in for a moment.
And those digital fortresses we talked about? Their HSMs help secure an estimated 80% of the world's point-of-sale transactions. That means 8 out of every 10 times you tap or swipe your card somewhere in the world, Thales hardware is in the background protecting it.
So who's using this tech? Well, more than 3,000 financial institutions all around the globe, from the biggest banks you can possibly name to the hottest new fintech startups.
And it gets even more personal. Go ahead, take a look in your wallet right now. There's a 1 in 3 chance that the physical card you're holding was actually made by Thales.
All right, this kind of market dominance doesn't just happen by accident. So why do so many banks and more, these fast-moving fintech companies choose to build their products on Thales' foundation? Well, it really comes down to 5 key pillars.
So why them? First off, they let established banks add modern features without going through a painful multi-year overhaul of their ancient core systems. For the new fintechs, it's all about speed. They can launch new card programs in months, not years. And crucially, security and compliance are baked right in from the start, not just an afterthought. Their platform works everywhere, in-store, online, in an app. And finally, their tech is so foundational that entire countries can actually use it to build their national payment networks right from the ground up.
So what does this all mean for the future of your wallet? Well, as we've seen, the most critical infrastructure is often the stuff we never ever see at all.
From the actual physical card in your hand to the tokenization that disguises your data, all the way to those hardware fortresses in the cloud that secure the whole system, Thales has built this end-to-end foundation that really underpins our trust in digital money.
And it leaves us with a pretty critical question for our digital future. As money becomes more and more invisible, just data flying through the air, who do we trust to build the technology that makes it real? And maybe more importantly, who keeps it safe? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.